Hello everyone, you're welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be talking about all the documents I submitted to get my study permit approved in just 10 days. I've gotten a lot of questions, like a whole lot. The DMs, oh my god. The DMs are there are lots, but anyway, we are just going to cover all that today. So if you're interested, keep watching. So when it comes to the document, the first thing you will need is a letter of acceptance from a school here. If you've watched my previous video, you will know that I applied to 3 schools. With all the 3 schools, I submitted basically the same documents. That was my passport and transcript, which was not complete by the way, and I also submitted my resume. So those are the 3 main documents I submitted to get acceptance in the school. Since my transcript was not complete, I got a conditional offer from Canada College. The offer I got from Algonquin was not conditional. I did not go to Algonquin because compared to Canada, the fees was just much affordable. It made more sense to come to Canada than to go to Algonquin. A lot of people have been asking which school I'm attending, and I've said it in my previous video, so please go watch that, but I'll say it again. I'm attending Canada College here in Ontario. After you get your letter of acceptance, the next thing you need is a passport. You should have a passport before you even start this whole process. You should make sure that your passport is not going to expire during your time of staying here in Canada, else you might be denied. So make sure that you have a passport that is not going to expire anytime soon. The next thing that you'll need is a study plan. For the study plan, I wrote it on my own. What I did was I put all the subtopics in bullet points to just make everything easier for the person who was going to read it, because at the end of the day, it's still a human being that's going to give you your visa. So just make sure that you write it in a way that will be very easy for the person to read it. You really don't need big words or huge English words. Just take it like you're the one reading it. Would you want to read something so long and full of big words that you don't even understand? Like, just don't do that. Don't make it too long. So my own was 3 pages, yeah, but it wasn't like 3 full pages. It was just maybe 2 full pages and then half a page, so 3 pages. Yeah, you don't really need to say a lot in the study plan. One thing I did that I think will help you guys was after I wrote my study plan, I also made another bullet points where I wrote documents that may need further explanation, because you're not going to go for any interview. So just make sure that you explain everything in the study plan, but then don't make it too long, because they also have a lot of study plans to read. Just don't make it too long. Let me give you guys an example. In my previous video, I told you guys that I hadn't graduated school, so I did not have my certificate. So since I did not have it, I put it under the documents that may need further explanation, because it is required that you submit a certificate, and I also had a conditional offer, so I had to make sure that I explain it, because at the end of the day, you're not going for any interview. So I just made sure that I explained to them that I had not graduated, but I had completed school in October. But then due to strikes in universities, I hadn't graduated, so I was not going to submit the certificate for some time. And I gave them the graduation date, that this when I would graduate, and so after my graduation, I would send the certificate to them. So I think I also included my academic calendar. Yeah, I think so. I included my academic calendar too, so that they will see the graduation dates in that academic calendar. I don't think they even checked back. I just had to submit anything that would make sense in my documents, because I wasn't going to go for any interview. I'll give you guys a link to the documents that you will need. It's on the Canadian website. I'll put the link in the description. When you click on that link, a PDF will open. You will see that giving points on all the questions that you need to answer in the study plan. That's what I used to write my study plan, honestly. Just make sure that you go through all those points and then you answer all those questions. Don't answer them like comprehension. Answer them like you're writing an essay, okay, because it's an essay. But don't answer like, what school are you attending? Canada College, that's it. No, maybe what school are you attending? So I'm attending Canada College in Ontario for this period to that period. You get it. You answer questions like what is your overall educational goal? Why are you not pursuing a similar program in your country of residence? Just like a whole lot of questions, like a few. Yeah, it's not plenty, so just make sure that you answer everything in your study plan. The questions are here. I'll put the link in the description for you guys to just it will really help you in writing your study plan, because that's basically what I used. So in the visa instructions, I also say that if it has been 2 years or more since you left full-time education, you should provide your resume. Since I just completed university, it hasn't been 2 years since I left full-time education, so I did not provide any resume when I was applying for the study permit. I provided a resume when I was applying for the schools. The next thing you need to submit is proof of your education. You need an attestation letter. If you've not graduated school but then you've completed, submit your transcript and also submit your attestation letter. The attestation letter is your school basically saying that you have completed school on this date, you started school on this date, and you've completed on this date, and that you are still waiting for your certificate. For Legon, you can apply online or you can go to the cash office and pay for an attestation letter. I don't know about other schools, but just ask anyone in your school, like a lecturer, or you can go to the academic office. They will definitely help you in getting an attestation letter. If you do not have a certificate, an attestation letter is kind of like your certificate apart from your transcript. So get an attestation letter. The next document I submitted was my financial document. I created a whole PDF for that one. In that PDF was my dad's bank statement. He was my sponsor, so my dad's bank statement, his land properties, his business, and then his ID cards as well. I just had to prove his identification, so that's why I added the ID cards. I don't know if everyone adds it, but then I'm extra like that, so I added his ID cards. For the ID cards, you can do like maybe his passport, his Ghana card, yeah, any of those. When you create the documents, one thing you can do is, before all those documents come, the first page should be you explaining the financial documents. It's not going to be an essay, so don't worry. The first page of my financial statement was me explaining the documents that we're going to follow up. Heading was financial statements, and then under that was funds available for my study, and under that was just bullet points. I wrote father's bank account balance, and then I wrote like the amount in Ghana cedis. I applied in February this year, February, so the dollar was just like this. It was dancing. So what I did was I went on Google, checked how much $1 Canadian was in Ghana cedis. I took the link of the website I used and then I put it in my financial statement. It was Forbes Advisor, so I wrote NB according to ForbesAdvisor.com. Then you can put a bracket there and then put their link there. On this date, $1 Canadian is equal to blah 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 Ghana cedis. Therefore, as in the amount in my dad's account is equal to blah 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 Canadian dollars. Sorry, I'm looking here so much. I'm just looking on my laptop, that's why. So yeah, that's what I did. And then the next bullet point was Canada College scholarship / financial aid, and then I wrote the amounts that I got for the scholarship. So after that, you just write total funds available for my study, blah 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 Canadian dollars. After explaining the document, then I wrote expenses. That was the next bullet point. So expenses, total educational fees, that's my tuition fees, and then ancillary fees. So you just write the total, then maybe you can separate it later, and that I just put another bullet point. Tuition is equal to this, ancillary fees is equal to this. You should make sure that aside your tuition fees, you also have 10,000 Canadian dollars. That's like the required amount in your bank statement. So I wrote living and food is equal to 10,000 Canadian dollars. Then extra, you should just put extra there because it just makes your bank statement look like you actually know what you're doing. So for extra, I put 5,000 Canadian dollars there. Make sure that the total amount you have for your study is more than the total amount of your expenses. That's it. So under everything, then I wrote kindly find below financial documents of my sponsor. For sponsor, make sure that you put into brackets maybe your dad, your brother, your whoever it is. Just make sure that you state the name or whoever the person is to you as your sponsor. I know you have to prove that you also got scholarship, but then for my, when it was written in my letter of acceptance, so I did not have to submit any other letters. I don't know if those who get full scholarship, they actually have to submit other letters. I don't know about that, but mine was a part scholarship. So since it was stated in my letter of acceptance, I had nothing else to prove. So the next thing I had to submit was proof of my employment. To prove your employment, you can submit pay slips of 3 months. You can submit employment letter. That employer basically stating that you actually work at the place, you earn this amount, you started on this date, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. I was in my national service at that time, but I did not complete my national service because I had to come to Canada. If you want to use national service to apply, you can submit your national service letter. The letter that you submit to your company to sign, you can submit that letter. You can also get a letter from your company as well. I also submitted a passport picture. It has to be a Canadian passport picture, so make sure that you go to the right place, because for the place I went, they already knew how to like do the whole Canadian passport picture thing. There's like an instruction letter to give to whoever a photographer is, so that they will look on that and just follow the instructions for the passport picture. It's better to just print the letter along and give it to your photographer, because you know Ghanaians might mess it up for you, so it's just better to send the letter. There are also some forms that you have to fill to submit your documents, and I think it's 3 or so. It depends on the country, but for me, I don't even remember how many I submitted. I need to submit the application for temporary residence something. I also need to submit application for Canada study permit here, and then I also submitted my family form. So those are the 3 forms that I filled. The family form, I do not know if like you actually need to print and then sign, but for me, I printed it and signed it. Someone in my comments was like, you actually don't need to print it and sign, so I don't know for sure, but for me, I printed it and signed it, because when you submit it, you're not getting it back. So just do what you feel like is right, you know. I also submitted affidavits as well. I think there were 2. So the first one was affidavit of support, and the second one was affidavit of ownership of property, to just prove that my dad and I actually own the properties. Now let's talk about the medicals. For my medicals, I did an upfront one, so I had an information sheet that I could submit. With that one, you get it from the hospital, so make sure you get your information sheet. When I was uploading my documents, there's like a slot for you to upload your medical sheet on its own. There's a slot for medicals, there's one for your passports, there's one for your passport picture as well. You submit all of them into their respective slots, and with the financial documents, you are definitely going to have more than one document to submit. So what you can do is you combine all of them into one PDF. You upload it as one, so you can't upload more than one document. I don't know if you guys get me. You can't upload more than one document, so what you do is you combine everything. You can use Adobe Acrobat Reader to just combine everything into one PDF, and then you submit it as one document. There's a slot for other documents. I don't know if it's called other documents or it has a name, but it's the last document and it is optional. For that part, you can submit anything that you want, anything that you feel like will give the visa officer more insights so that they can approve your document. You can submit it. So that's the part where you upload your letter of explanation or your study plan. Is the same thing. So that's the part you upload: your study plan, your certificates, your transcripts, just everything about you. That's the part where you submit it. So with that one too, you combine it just like the financial document. You combine it as one, and then you upload it as one document. You can't upload more than one, so please combine it. You can use Adobe Acrobat Reader. There's a part where you will see combine PDF, so you just click on that one. It will allow you to choose any document that you want to combine. You combine it and to become one document. That's it. Also can't upload more than 4 MB. I think it's 4 MB. Yeah, I think so. So you can't upload more than 4 MB. So if you're uploading and it doesn't upload, then it means your document is too big. So you have to make sure that you compress it. I'll put a link in the description for you guys to be able to compress your documents. You have to pay $1 for it. So I paid that $1, and you'll be able to compress as many times as you want. So yeah, you guys should just be able to do this on your own. It's really easy, guys. I promise you, it's really easy. I'll put the link to the visa instructions down in the description for you guys to see, because if you follow this instruction, like, trust me, everything that you need to submit is there. So if you follow it step by step, I promise you, you'll be able to do this on your own, trust me. So to answer some of your questions in the comments, someone was like, when you come to Canada, you'll be able to work full-time, in my comments down below. And with that law, it doesn't apply to we that we just came, or you guys that are now coming. It doesn't apply to you. That law only applies to those that were actually here, or those that had applied at that time. So if you hadn't applied at that time, or if you were not in Canada at that time, then it does not apply to you. So please, you can't work full-time. You can only work 20 hours a week, unless the law is extended and you are here, or you've applied on the date that it has been extended. That's it. Also, for most of your questions, I cannot answer them honestly, because I don't know your story. I don't know what documents you have. Like, I don't know your situation, so I honestly can't answer your questions. Most of the questions, I can't answer them. I can only share with you guys my experience and then answer what I know. But for what I don't know, I can't answer them. So please, I can't share my contacts with you, your emails, your DMs. I appreciate them, but then if I don't know, I can't help you, because everybody's situation is different, and I don't want to be the reason why your study permits will be disapproved or something. So please, I put links in the previous video, but I guess most of you did not check it out, because some of the questions you were asking were supposed to be answered if you had checked the link. But then I'll make sure to put the links in the description again, so that you guys can check them out. But then I hope this video has answered most of your questions. These are the documents I submitted to get my study permit approved in just 10 days. I honestly don't know how it was done. I still can't believe that it was approved in 10 days, because I feel like the documents I submitted were not complete, because I did not have my certificate, and then my offer was conditional. So I feel like, I don't know, it's just God's favor, honestly. It's just because of God that it was approved that early. So even though the documents are necessary and important and all, also don't forget to pray about it. Just send your prayer to God, and he'll definitely answer you. If it is not answered at the time that you want it, then it's probably not the right time, because I started this journey like 3 years ago or so, and I just came to Canada this year, so it probably wasn't the right time, you know. So I wish you guys the best. Please do not believe everything you hear or see on the internet. Not everything is true. Just make sure that you do your research on the Canadian website. You know, like, I'm putting links in this description, so go on their website just to read everything. You will see, like, all the questions you have will be answered, because most of the questions that you guys asked are already answered on the website. So just go on the website, read it. The only thing is you have to read everything. It's a lot, but if you read it, trust me, you'll be able to do this whole process on your own. I wish you guys the best. I hope that I'll soon see you all in Canada, and yeah, I love you guys.